Here's what Steve's doing to those boxes. He removes all of the tape and places them to kill off all of the weeds. It's called no-dig method, and it turns out that we need a lot more cardboard than we thought. There's no drawing here?
No, it'll be a
Tomat
surprise.
Rose, Livingston's Beauty. Maybe it's so beautiful they just couldn't afford a drawing of it. This is very exciting.
Ready for this?
Nothing here, but over here, look at them.
Oh my
They've
goodness.
already sprouted. Look at the chart. What is it?
We have box 1.
These
and
are cucumbers.
front cucumbers, Ukrainian cucumbers. Good job, Ukrainians. It's working.
Very exciting. It's only been what, like 8 hours or so.
Mm-hmm.
One more has sprouted and they're growing so fast.
Yes, this one needs some space to come
Are
up.
these Chernobyl cucumbers or something?
No. They're just under a heat mat.
Incredible. Yeah, it's quite warm. It's quite warm.
Yeah.
Steve plucks one out. I try to indicate it on the map. Like this. So we can later tell which ones germinated, which ones didn't. The Tomat series has a good score so far. 6 out of 8. Wouldn't have to be drawing this if we had the same seeds in one tray and then another separate set of seeds in another tray. Then it would be much easier, no? Than drawing these charts.
Uh-huh.
Hot chili peppers. They've taken the longest to sprout, but they're ready to be replanted and I'm very excited. There are 7 of them.
7?
Yeah, I think there was supposed to be 8. There are 7. Steve put it on the warm mat, heated mat, and they really liked it. I mean, they've been on that mat for the whole week, right? Even more maybe now. I'm aware that this tool isn't for digging, but it's proved to be quite handy. Proven, I guess. It's proven to be quite handy. Looks a bit worn by now. This is box 2, the bottom, and it says hot chili peppers. I keep wanting to say red hot chili peppers. Maybe we should do this to red hot chili peppers actually. So they feel more like home. I made the mistake of leaving all of the trays and soil like this and having dinner. And here's what we've discovered upon arrival. Milichka has arrived. I think she's come back to the crime scene, right, Mil? She's not even looking at the crime scene. I think she's trying to trick me. I've repotted all of these guys, cucumbers. It's a very convenient system, and this is an anti-cat device. We just close it like this and tie it with a ribbon or a piece of string, and then the cats can't get in.
They understand though that this netting means they're stuck. This netting means no.
Protected. Look at these onions. How cute they are. Look. So the good news is that they are on pallets.
Yes.
But the bad news is that they're enormous.
They are enormous.
Happened?
So the compost has arrived. It's here. 6 bags. And now we have probably at least a few weeks of work to prepare the plot on this side, to empty these bags. We have 1 wheelbarrow and 1 shovel. We might have to change that. And to start to build beds.
The big question is whether it smells or not.
That is a good question. Let's go take a look. You can see it's already bursting to get out and to have plants inside of it. Let's have a look. Doesn't smell at all. It doesn't smell. Some grass has come with it. So this compost is called Ons Toisson. Very unusual for us to be in this wine growing area. Mm-hmm. And it's very cool that we have this cooperative next to us which takes the waste from the wine growers and creates something useful from it. Lots of people do this no-dig method where you make a very thick layer of compost, like 15 centimeters in the first year, for the bed, and you grow directly into it. Lots of people do this, but I couldn't find any example of people doing this with this kind of compost. I can write a review on the no-dig groups to say, you know, look, I used this...
well, next year, I guess.
Next year, to say how it works. You want to see the plot? We have a lot to do. So this is the plot, 275 square meters. You can see it's pushed through the cardboard. In some places the grass has died off, but in many places it's pushed through the gaps. So we're going to need to attack it again with a strimmer, lawnmower, chop it all down, relay the compost, and then start marking out the beds with string and start creating the beds. There's a good few weeks, full weeks of work, I think.
Can't wait to see what it looks like once you're done. I promise to help.
Thank you. You'll need to, otherwise I'll need to take a month off. 4 beds, bordering on a herb garden here. I think if we move this decorative and insect attracting part this way a little bit towards the well, it has a lot of advantages, because then, yeah, really you come in and you have that big reveal.
Yeah, you separate essentially the garden into a producing part, which is not always the cutest. It's just green plants, and sort of decorative slash floral.
Perfect, 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 perfect.
What have we done today?
Today we've done a lot, even though it still looks quite messy. We've translated the plan that was in digital form into real, tangible form. We've laid down the string, taken the measurements, and made some adaptations based on that.
Are you satisfied with today's work?
Look at that. It's great. It looks a bit messy, but it's going to look better soon. I don't think we have quite enough yet to have a 20 centimeter layer all over. But we have 2 more bags left, so 1 ton left. I think it'll be enough for the... Remember, we're not covering the entire space here. We're covering basically what you see that's covered.
Some of that is beds, some of that is paths. Paths don't need 20 centimeters, right?
No, they don't need 20, they need like just a few centimeters, and then wood chips on top. I think the success, if I'm honest, is down to wearing the gardening hat. Justina is also in a gardening hat, she's just taken it off. See?
Okay.
What else could it possibly be?
I've re-established the baths and the beds, the ropes. They ended up being submerged underneath this compost. We realized that this is not enough because Steve made this very handy bamboo stick, like a yardstick, to measure the depth, and it has to be just above the scotch tape, 20 centimeters. We can see that it's way below what we need. So now I'm spreading out the compost, and you can see maybe some sort of a little hill here. It's because I've been pulling the compost from this bed towards that edge, and Steve is going to start to bring in more compost. This is hard work, especially in the sun. Luckily for us, there are some clouds today, but it's already starting to get really hot. And this is tough work. It's not nearly enough depth, so a lot more work to do. The work is so hard that we had to establish a resting spot. Works like this. Press with your feet and you recline.
Sounds good.
How are you feeling?
Now, very good. Also very satisfied with our progress, although we're not going to finish today. That was wildly optimistic. Maybe by the end of this week. What do you think?
Maybe.
Before the rains come at the weekend, the monsoon.
Can you tell me what's going on?
So we already have, many of them have been here for a couple of weeks, and every day I've been opening the windows most days for about an hour and a bit. But still, it's not
Why?
heated in here. To harden them off, to get them more used to the conditions outside. Often it's quite windy here, so it's the winds come in, but it's a bit protected, and they become stronger. They're more used to outdoor temperatures now because it's not far above outdoor temperatures. I'm going to take them outside, and I think I'll leave them outside tonight and then maybe start planting. They're ready. You can see they already have flowers, so we want them to
Can
be
you show me
pollinated.
some flowers, please?
They're beautiful flowers at that.
Very beautiful.
And you can eat them too.
You can eat them, exactly. But we want them to be pollinated so that we get fruits. So they need to be outside for that.
We've run into a problem, right?
We have, yeah. We so carefully tracked everything that we planted, but at some point we had like more than 100 seedlings on our tiny windowsill,
And we lost track.
on a bunch of shelves, and we were planting them on and we just lost track. But we've got some plants that are similar looking, like courgettes and pumpkins. Okay, it's not a big deal, they're both kind of low plants, although pumpkins are enormous. But melons climb, and we've never planted melons before.
I think we have to go by size. I think the bigger one, the larger ones, are pumpkin.
Yeah,
And the smaller ones with a lot of flowers, I think those are cucumbers.
okay.
So
Let's
I'm
try
going
and
to
do
group
that.
them.
Let's try and do that.